What if I told you that the ultimate secret to navigating the chaos of the universe isn't waiting for you at the frozen peak of some silent mountain somewhere?
Right. It's actually sitting right there at the very bottom of your morning coffee cup.
Exactly. I mean, whether you consider yourself a seasoned spiritual seeker or you're just someone feeling completely overwhelmed by the frantic pace of modern life, today's deep dive is tailored specifically for you.
Yeah, we've got a really phenomenal piece of source material we are unpacking today.
We really do. We are exploring a summary of a very specific 24-minute Dharma talk.
Right. This was given on April 30th, 2016 at the Yohansan Bogapsa Temple by Mayo Ilsum Daibapsa.
And it was during the Guanyin jail observance, right?
Yes, exactly.
So our mission today is pretty clear. We're going to systematically walk through the exact flow of this teaching.
From its very quiet introduction all the way to its really expansive conclusion.
Yeah, we want to extract the core lessons about what is called the everyday mind and discover how this ancient Buddhist philosophy applies directly to, our modern daily routines.
Okay, let's unpack this. Because before any teaching can even be absorbed, the mind has to be prepared.
Absolutely. The physical environment of the temple and the mental environment of the congregation, they have to sync up.
Right.
And this gathering doesn't just begin with a booming voice or some complex lecture. It begins with meditation.
A quiet time.
Yeah, a deliberate, vital, quiet time to settle a noisy mind so the congregation is actually ready to hear the Buddha's teachings.
And let's quickly explain the purpose of this specific gathering, the Guanyin jail observance.
Yeah.
It's a time dedicated to remembering the compassion of Bodhisattva Avalokitesvara.
Right, and for those who might not know, a bodhisattva is essentially someone who achieves complete enlightenment. But instead of just checking out and moving into nirvana, they stay behind.
Out of pure compassion, right, to help everyone else. Exactly. And what's fascinating here is how Mayo Ilsum Daibapsa uses that theme of compassion to make a critical shift right early on.
A shift in the audience's mindset, you mean?
Yeah, she moves the audience completely away from viewing Buddhism merely as a way to pray for personal luck or blessings.
So no treating the universe like a vending machine.
Exactly. She frames it instead as a practice of inner cultivation. And that shift is vital because true spiritual practice really only starts when those transactional prayers become transformational inner work.
I love that. It's kind of like hitting refresh on a freezing computer.
Oh, that's a good way to look at it.
Yeah, because you can't install new software or new wisdom, in this case, until you clear the RAM.
You really can't. If your mind is completely bogged down with all these requests for a new car or a promotion, there's no space for actual enlightenment.
So once the RAM is cleared, once the audience's mind is quieted and their intentions are set, she introduces the central thesis of the talk.
And this is where she reveals exactly where enlightenment is found.
Right. She introduces this core concept, which is everyday mind is the path.
Kyongsang Simsido in Korean.
Right. And she makes this striking assertion that the Tao, the ultimate path, is not some mystical concept floating up in the clouds somewhere.
No, not at all. She says it is found in the most mundane daily activities, literally just eating rice and drinking tea.
Eating rice and drinking tea.
Yeah. The goal she's pointing to is a pure mind devoid of artificiality. You aren't trying to force anything or make things up. You're just drinking tea.
Here's where it gets really interesting, though, because I have to push back a little on that.
Okay, go for it.
Isn't that almost like too ordinary? I mean, if the ultimate path is just drinking tea, why do so many people struggle to find peace?
That is the big question, right?
Yeah. If it's that easy, why is everyone so stressed out?
Well, you're hitting on the extreme difficulty of simplicity. As humans, our tendency is to overcomplicate literally everything.
We really do.
We want to force outcomes. We think that if the reward is massive, like spiritual enlightenment, the effort has to be this huge, complicated struggle.
We want a hero's journey, not a beverage.
Exactly. But that human tendency to overcomplicate and force things is exactly what obscures the path. We layer all these anxieties over the simple act of drinking tea.
Which naturally leads to the next part of the Dharma talk.
Right.
If the path is as simple as drinking tea, why do we experience so much pain?
Right. She logically transitions into diagnosing the root cause of our suffering.
And what does she pinpoint as the root cause?
She calls it the discriminating mind.
The discriminating mind. Okay, let's break that down.
It's basically our constant, nonstop need to judge objects and experiences by our own standard of good or bad.
So instead of just seeing things as they truly are, we're constantly rating them.
Exactly. And to counter this, she introduces this really powerful analogy of the mirror-like mind.
Oh, I really like this part.
Yeah, so think about a mirror. A mirror reflects whatever comes before it perfectly, right?
Right, it doesn't edit the image.
No prejudice, no selection, no judgment. It just reflects.
If we connect this to the bigger picture, thinking about our modern lives, it's kind of terrifying.
Oh, completely terrifying. If we connect this to the bigger picture, we're constantly conditioned to like, dislike, rate, and judge every single piece of information we encounter.
Swipe left, swipe right, 5
Exactly.
stars, 1 star.
Exactly. We are algorithmically trained to have the ultimate discriminating mind.
It's like we are walking around wearing these aggressively tinted glasses that color everything we see.
Yeah, that's a perfect way to describe it.
If you wear red glasses all day, you think the whole world is red. You're judging everything through that bias. But the mirror mind is like looking through a perfectly clean, invisible window.
Just seeing reality as it is, but to actually clean that mirror and achieve that clear mind, she offers some very practical antidotes.
Right, because knowing you have tinted glasses on isn't the same as taking them off.
Exactly. So she talks about radical presence and essentially ego death.
Radical presence, so getting out of the past and the future.
Yeah, she discusses the trap of past regrets and future anxieties. She points out that these illusions are actively blocking our happiness in the current moment.
Because you can't be happy now if your brain is stuck in an argument you had 5 years ago.
Right. So she defines true study or true practice as putting your entire mind into a single spoken word or single footstep right now, in this exact second.
But then she takes it a step further, right?
Yeah.
She explores this concept of a song.
Yes, a song, which translates to the thought of I, or the ego.
And she doesn't hold back on this. She describes the ego as a literal prison.
A prison and the root of all agony.
So how does emptying the mind and letting go of this attachment to self actually help?
Well, she explains that letting go brings forth wisdom. It naturally leads to more harmonious relationships with others because you aren't constantly defending this fragile construct of I.
Okay, but let me play devil's advocate here because I think a lot of people listening might be wondering. If we let go of the I and completely empty our minds, don't we risk losing our individual personality?
That's a super common fear.
Yeah, like what happens to our ambitions or the quirks that make us unique? Do we just become robots?
No, not at all. Escaping the prison of I doesn't mean deleting your personality.
Okay, good.
It means removing the rigid attachment to your ego. It's the attachment that's the problem.
So you still have your personality, you just aren't fiercely defending it every second of the day.
Exactly. You are actually freed up to engage with the world much more authentically because you aren't trapped in self-defense mode.
So what does this all mean? Once the ego is finally out of the way, what actually remains?
This is where the talk really builds to its climax, because she reveals what has been inside the listener all along.
And what they have to do with it, right?
Yeah. She discusses the discovery of Buddha nature, or bull song.
Bull song.
Yes. And Myolism de Bopsa emphasizes this point so beautifully. She assures the congregation that the Buddha is not just some statue sitting up on the temple altar.
It's not an external thing.
No, the Buddha is already fully equipped inside the minds of everyone listening to the talk.
It reminds me of pre-installed software on a smartphone.
Oh, yeah, like an app that comes with the phone.
Exactly. You don't need to go out and download it from the App Store. It's already there on the hard drive. You just need to realize it's there and, learn how to open the app.
That's a great analogy. The potential for ultimate wisdom and peace is pre-installed. But she doesn't just leave it at personal discovery. There's a major call to action here.
Right, because personal peace isn't meant to be hoarded.
Exactly. She urges the congregation to spread this compassion outward, to take it to their families and to society.
Which brings us to the formal conclusion of the Dharma talk.
The dedication of merit.
Yeah, the Ho-Yang. Can you explain what that looks like?
It's the act of taking all the merit gained from this spiritual gathering, all that good energy and learning, and actively transferring it to all sentient beings.
Wow.
Alongside a final wish for the Buddha's protection over every family.
This raises an important question, though, for the listener, because most of us aren't sitting in a temple gathering merit in that formal sense.
Right.
So how can someone in their own secular or modern life practice this concept of transferring merit? How do we actively share the benefits of our own learning with others?
Well, I think it's intensely practical. It's about how you show up in the world. If you do the inner work to calm your mind, you don't snap at your coworker when they make a mistake.
Right. You absorb the stress instead of passing it on.
Exactly. By responding with patience instead of anger, you are literally transferring the merit of your practice to that person. You are changing the environment around you.
It's an incredible framework. So let's just briefly recap this really elegant chronological journey that Mayo Ilsum Dabopsa took her audience on.
It's a lot of ground covered in 24 minutes.
It really is. So she starts with a quieted mind, clearing the RAM,
Right.
then discovering the profound autumn in a simple cup of tea. Just everyday mind.
Then cleaning the mirror of our daily judgments.
Getting rid of those tinted glasses. Then stepping out of the ego's prison and into the present moment.
And finally, recognizing that inner Buddha, that pre-installed app, and sharing it with the world.
It's so practical. And so we want to leave you with a final thought to mull over as you go about the rest of your day.
Something to really test this out with.
Exactly. If the everyday mind is the path, and true spiritual practice is found in simply eating rice and drinking tea, how does the way you consumed your last meal or drank your last cup of coffee reflect your current state of mind?
Were you truly tasting the tea?
Right. Or were you silently drinking your past regrets and future anxieties?